live in the dungeon. This is the Dream Warrior Review. I'm Kurt Thomas.
I'm Miq Strawn. Question. How many references to 80s films can you put in a modern film and not say that you're history mining?
Well, not just that. This had actors from other movies. Like it had Professor Xavier, and it had Denzel Washington's brother.
Yeah. You know, I'm not kidding. I was going to say that. I was going to say, well.
No, but the references were overwhelming. Totally.
Oh, man.
Absolutely.
I got to tell you, they just went, the references to Nightmare on Elm Street 3 and then Nightmare on Elm Street 4.
Yep.
And
Poltergeist.
Poltergeist. I mean, it just kept sitting there going, wow, bing, 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 bing. You know,
there was even more than that. I mean, we could go down the list.
Oh, yeah. It went on. There were so many that after a while,
there was just a blatant reference to 5, Nightmare on Elm Street 5.
Right.
Which was weirdly at the end of the movie, which was kind of the end of the franchise for me, for Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
Anyway,
I mean, there was a certain part of it that I thought that they were doing Jaws.
I actually want to watch Nightmare on Elm Street 3 and 4 now.
Yeah,
after watching
go back. Well, yeah. So, man, I have to say, what an immensely larger film it was.
Yeah,
and it had some really, really scary parts, but it had very little charm.
It reminded me a little bit, like, actually, the miniseries. I know we reviewed this like 2 years ago.
Right.
Which, by the way, this is like almost exactly our 2-year anniversary. And the first movie or first one we ever released was It.
That's
and
right.
I missed the boat because yesterday I was thinking about, I should do like a re-release, like do like an introduction and say,
didn't.
hey. And then like so people can hear us review the miniseries, the movie, and then
into this one. Well, yeah, there you go.
Oh well. Maybe I'll do it afterwards.
Yeah, exactly. Well, but
yeah, so I don't know. I was overwhelmed. This reminded me. So what I was saying is that the first miniseries in the '90s, the second part was bizarre for sure. Like, and I think I don't remember the book. It's been a long time.
Yeah,
I think it's like the second part was just really weird in the miniseries, and then I kind of expected that here, but
right.
It seemed longer than I really wanted it to be.
It also seemed like there was a certain element of it that reminded me of Alien versus Aliens. You know, the first one would be Alien.
Yeah. And
the second one was Aliens. You know, it was just everything was just that much bigger.
Yeah.
And like there were a couple really good jump scares in it that I thought were excellent. But then it just seemed to be Crusaders of the Lost Ark.
Yeah, no, actually I kept thinking of Indiana Jones.
Indiana Jones, Raiders of the Lost Ark, I know.
And then there was some, Alien, there's a lot of stuff in this one.
Wow, there just was one right after the other. I was like, wow, did they just put all those 80s action sequences into a blender and then just let a computer just lay them back out again?
Well, even like when they're walking through the hallways, and I was thinking Nightmare on Elm Street 3.
Right. I mean,
you even had it was on a belly, but it was like the whole thing with the chest.
Yeah.
The writing on the chest.
That's right.
We're probably ruining too much, aren't we?
No,
yeah,
the writing on the chest was definitely Nightmare on Elm Street 3.
And then the arms, and
the things coming out of the...
I'm about to bleep the hell out of some of this.
It was huge. I don't think that it was very...
and I wish I watched the miniseries. I almost wish I watched the miniseries again.
You know what?
Because the scene in the restaurant was almost exactly the same.
And there's another thing I have to say about it. There was no chemistry between any of these people.
No.
At all. I mean, the funny thing was that
the first one,
the first one with the kids,
yep.
there was obvious chemistry to them, and in this one, I can understand that at the beginning of it, them coming together, that there wasn't chemistry there because there was like a fog of forgetfulness,
like
memory thing, but no chemistry developed between anybody. I mean, it's funny because it is always strange when the script is the thing that's telling you that two people are supposed to be getting along well or better than others, and that that your brain is going, no, that ain't right.
It's forced.
That's forced. Yeah, boy, there was so much.
I think Bill Hader had a lot of chemistry with Bill Hader.
He did.
So I mean, actually, I liked him just because. Well, I like that character anyway. I think who was in the first? Was it Jeff Goldblum? I want to say. I don't remember right, but
yeah, I don't remember.
I don't know. But anyway,
but Medvoy had no chemistry. I mean,
no.
Everybody else
really.
just kind of like just dead. I don't and there was I had to say to a certain extent there was too much of the clown. I mean, the clown was a major part of this.
It took him a while to show up, though.
Yeah, but when he did, he sat down and stayed for dinner.
I'm not sure how I feel about Jessica Chastain. Like,
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
She looks like the character that from the previous one, but
right. But
I think that's how they casted this. That's why there wasn't chemistry, because they casted people that look exactly like they. I mean, they casted perfectly for looks.
Right, they did, but as far as any acting chemistry together or cohesion of style, and that was another thing. There was very little cohesion to style all the way through the film. The lighting was quite different from the first one. The lighting was not dark. Mm-hmm. I mean, there was there were like no dark pockets anywhere. It's like everything seemed to be overlit to the point that
I got annoyed with they kept going from light to dark like a lot.
Yeah, light to dark. Well, the thing is, did you notice this? Is that if on the screen there was a dark pocket, Pennywise came out of it.
Of course.
Every time. Yeah.
I did like the thing with the hands. That was kind of a nice thing. It was so simple.
Yeah. And
which they showed in the trailer.
And there's all
actually they showed everything in the trailer, so I think we're pretty safe.
Yeah, there was all kinds of effects, and some of them really landed well, and some of them didn't. A
lot of effects. I mean,
but
it was like watching a Star Wars movie.
It was, except for the level of effects was not. They weren't all really good. Some of them were really good.
Yeah.
Some of them were just kind of.
This didn't have the rubber arm though.
It didn't. So nothing to talk about. No rubber. Nothing to see here. No rubber arm.
I think every movie should have a rubber arm somewhere.
I think it should. Well,
at least every horror movie.
A clown waving it though. I mean, you have to remember the rubber arm's motivation here was a clown.
I really want to see Bill Skarsgård host a game show. I don't know why. I keep thinking that. Like, how cool would that be?
How about as the clown?
And he'd be drooling everywhere.
As the clown.
By the way, there's a lot of drooling in this.
It is a lot of drooling. A lot of body fluids in this.
Yeah.
Oh, I just thought of another connection to Nightmare on Elm Street 4.
Oh. Talk about the fluid?
The
yes.
Yeah. Oh, man. God, I tell you. It's
so everybody go watch Nightmare on Elm Street 3 and 4, and then go watch it. And Close Encounters of the Third Kind, Poltergeist, Aliens,
Aliens,
Critters, baby. Critters.
Yeah, I was going to say Raiders of the Lost Ark,
The Goonies,
for sure. Temple of
Well,
Doom.
this is kind of related to the Goonies anyway, because
yeah, no, it is Goonies.
Stand By Me, too.
Yeah, the whole bit.
But anyway, everybody knows that.
I got into an argument not long ago with somebody because I just mentioned on that Nightmare on Elm Street 4 or Nightmare on Elm Street 3, I mentioned my theory about it changing to use the humor and to use the group of kids together so that you didn't have the Superman problem with Freddy,
Oh, yeah.
And then I mentioned that that the getting together of the group was then followed by it, you know. Yeah. And somebody was saying, jumped on me on the internet. I know this is going to shock you, but on the internet, somebody just jumped all over my stuff he goes, well, it's.
Well, my first thought is, when was the book written? Because it might have been before.
It. The book was written 6 months before the film came out.
Yeah.
But the film was already
in the bag.
Yeah, it was already in the bag. Plus, you have to assume that nobody read the frickin' book.
Well, a lot of things came out at the same time.
Right.
I mean, no, like a lot of similar movies came out at the same time.
Yeah, they do. But
you look at all the slasher movies; they all came out at the same time.
Well, it's true.
And a lot of the same tricks.
But it's the same
kills. So you didn't even know you were doing the same kills as the other guy.
Yeah. The thing is, I wasn't. I was just saying that if you're going to the movies, we were the first out with that. With kind of pulling that concept together.
Yeah.
And you don't know what you're talking about. And I said, and so I put out there is a possibility that this guy was taking himself too seriously, and then I put a huge smiley face, and boy, he rocketed.
Oh no!
I was like, I don't, hey, comments are. The thing about comments is that when you do get sucked into them, you have to be able to cut and run. You have to cut and run. You block that sucker out and you go somewhere else.
I don't even know if I'd want to respond. Just be like,
yeah.
Well, I'm too tired to do that. Like, to whatever.
Well, you have to remember that I've made my my post-career out of doing that. So.
Right. That's true. Yeah.
I mean, talking is what I do now. That's yeah.
Is it really? It really is.
It really is what I do now. It's painful.
So how's it in Tennessee?
How's my talking in Tennessee?
How's it going out there?
Hey, listen. I've noticed that the weather is a lot like it is where you are, which is 3 feet from me.
So yeah, the last episode we had was like you
I
walking
know,
out the door, the door closing. Then it was gonna be like, now we're in 2 different states. You represent the east side of the country.
East side of the country, and you were gonna represent the west.
Right, and then now.
Yeah, well, this is
You're still here.
Yeah.
You can't find your car.
I like everybody's disappointment. It's almost like I died and then came back again, and everybody's going, "Were you dead?"
You're still walking around looking for that bucket of chicken in the car.
That's right. Nothing like having live dead people around.
No, my wife said something funny. She's like, "Oh, I'm taking back all those hugs."
Yeah. What the hell was that all about?
It's like, why the hell did we hug him? Oh, have a great trip, buddy. She's like, I'm taking all that back.
Well, yeah. For some reason, I actually thought about that myself. I thought, well, I wouldn't have gotten the hugs if, I should leave every month.
The new episode would have been perfect, too, because we start with it.
Think of how many things would have been brand new.
Yeah. Well, I do have some problems. I have some demands.
Yeah, what are these?
Of a certain person we're holding us up on a couple things because he's busy. I mean, come on, if he had a deadline, he'd probably work on it.
Oh, yeah. No,
so I think we should give him a deadline right now. Like, hey, October 1st maybe should be a good deadline.
Yeah, and then we could really talk about this.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't want to talk about it. So I'm trying to, am I veiling my comments well enough?
Yeah.
You think he's going to get it?
Well, you do have to remember that I'm going to see him a week from Sunday.
Yeah. I mean, really, it's not that many it demands. It's only like, maybe that thing that you were working on that looks pretty.
Yeah,
hint,
that looks pretty. That was so cool.
And then maybe have a couple of things posted somewhere, like so people go push the button and hear something. Maybe a couple of those things.
Just that,
or even just the very first episode. See, this is perfect because it could be like our first episode we ever put out there. So there you go. I've already said too much.
Yes, you have.
But anyway, so Get on it, dude.
Yeah.
But speaking of it.
Yes, it. Back to it. There were also... It had some great pieces, but it also had some periods that were really... that were long. By the way, I might add that snoring in the middle of the film evidently wasn't on the screen.
Yeah, I think it was. I had a 10-second nap.
Yeah, you did.
Well, it was like I was following the action, and then all of a sudden it was like, oh, they're over here now.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how'd that happen? It's like,
what the
but
hell
I still
happened
knew
here?
what was happening in the scene, so it couldn't have been that long.
No, it wasn't that long.
And then I was sitting there watching the credits, and I heard the girl in front of me say that she fell asleep, and they had to explain the end of the movie to her.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and I have to say that the end did get kind of long. You know, I don't understand. There were some things that I don't understand. It got long.
Yeah.
And it got really.
I felt a little deflated at one point.
Were you standing erect till that point?
No. There was just a certain point where I felt deflated, and I wasn't really sure what was happening. I don't know.
Little clown.
Yeah.
You're a clown. You're just.
I don't know. Yeah. So I definitely like the first one a lot more.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of it's because of chemistry. Like if there's more chemistry between the characters.
You know what? That's it. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying that I thought the effects were, plenty good enough. That had some great scares.
Yeah.
Skarsgård was great. I would just say that I honestly wish that there was some chemistry between all these people. It just seemed like the loosest group that they pulled together. And I think you're right. They did really a good job of matching what they would look like, but they didn't have anything,
I should have made them like sleep in the same like tent or something while they were shooting it. Then they'd all get along.
Yeah, you see, you can do that with
take all their
kids.
clothes and put them in a tent together.
Yeah,
You'd have to bond. That would probably get arrested for that.
Yeah, that's exactly. Yeah, they would. Yeah.
See what Me Too has done to the film industry?
Yeah. See? That's right. I mean, because it used to be, you just, put them all into a tent and have them do acid for a couple of days.
Well, I think that was usually their choice. It wasn't like, yeah.
Well, it was mine.
That explains a lot of 80s horror movies.
Well, exactly. Second golden age of horror. Well. Anyway, I think that our chemistry is fogging because of this film.
What I walked in here and I couldn't remember what we do.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, we pushed record.
See,
I got that far.
Well, now you feel like I do all the time.
So
what am I doing here?
What did I rate the last one? I was probably at a 4 or something.
I think you were at a 4.
This one I'm kind of like, 3.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I was gonna go like for a 3.1 because I think that what they did well.
Yeah. I'm okay with the references. I mean,
yeah, no,
obviously the guy's a fan of movies.
I'm fine with the references because, to tell you the truth, they referenced me many, 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 many times.
Right.
I mean, not that they knew it, but they did.
Yeah.
But the fact that they didn't have chemistry between each other was the biggest sin of all.
Yeah, because the first movie there was so much chemistry.
Oh,
like,
yeah,
you could chew on it.
Well, and the funny thing about it is, every once in a while, seeing a second film like this makes you realize what it was in the first film that really made it cohesive, and it was 100% the chemistry between those kids.
I kind of feel a little bit that way about Nightmare on Elm Street 3 and 4.
Yeah.
Because the chemistry wasn't there like it was in the third one, I don't think.
Oh, you mean on the fourth one?
Yeah. Probably because one of the characters was replaced. And I didn't really like that, and I don't think they really liked that person. Didn't feel that way when you watch it.
Oh, there you go.
If you get what I'm saying.
There you go. Yeah.
I like how I'm trying to be vague, but anybody who'd watch these movies would get it.
Being vague about a film that's 30
I know.
plus years old.
Well, I don't want to name names, But I mean, if you want to talk about a day of the week, maybe that could.
You mean the night?
Or the night of the week.
Night of the week, yes.
Yeah, I'm just saying. I think that affected things a little bit. And also the fact that one of the main characters from 3, who was awesome, didn't come back. I mean, that affected things.
Yeah. Well, anyway.
We're not talking about Nightmare on Elm Street 3 right now.
You did know that, right?
Yeah.
You did know that this is all about.
I don't know. From this movie, I don't know if I knew that.
Yeah, that's right. It kept putting you back there, right?
Yeah.
All right.
I'm gonna go watch that tomorrow, I think.
Yeah, you do that. Yeah.
Tomorrow night, I'm gonna come home from work. I'm going to say, I'm going to watch Nightmare on Elm Street 3 and 4. And then I'm going to fall asleep 20 minutes into the Nightmare on Elm Street 3 with the beer in my hand.
Yeah. Well, record the snoring, because the snoring is... You're a classic snorer. I mean, those were classic. I mean,
actually, what I should do is record myself watching the movie, and then watch. Yeah, like here I am.
Just focus on that part. Cut the movie out. Yeah, I mean that's kind of where I'm at on it.
I give it 3 snores.
Three snores straight up though.
Right.
Yeah, straight up. Yeah, I
think it was a little long. It could have been tightened up a lot. Like,
yeah, I think it could have been edited.
It was loose. Like you said, it was pretty loose. Like, not just with the actors, but
yeah, but it was loose and.
It's like they said, let's shoot the scene. We got all the time to do it.
Yeah.
Let's just take our time.
Did they make it really long film? I mean, it felt like it was 2.5 hours, but I don't think it was over 2, was it?
Yeah, it was like almost 3 hours long.
It was almost 3 hours long?
Yeah.
Well, that's too long.
Yes,
that's too long for almost anything.
In fact, I want to know how long the first one was.
How long was it? How long was it?
Okay, the first one was only 2 hours and 15 minutes, which was perfect.
Yeah, it was.
And the first one did not need the house. This one maybe kind of did, because they used it more.
That was the other element. That was the element.
Yes, that's what I was bitching that. Yeah, you didn't catch that? Like,
no. I did. I did when I saw it. I was like, but there were so many. But by the time you hit that, you were at the end of so many like direct references to other films. It was like,
there was music from a film.
Yeah,
that you might catch, but I didn't catch it until I saw the credits. I'm like, oh, okay. I don't remember hearing it.
Well, da 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 to you.
Yep. Da, 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 da. Thanks for joining us on the Dream Warrior Review podcast. Don't forget to tell your friends about us, follow us, and, of course, like us. We can be found on Podbean, which is an amazing app, YouTube, Stitcher, Alexa on any pod, iTunes, Google Play. We're on Twitter as well, at DW Review, and, of course, Facebook. You can find us there. You can also email us at dreamwarriorreview@gmail.com.